Fantasy Fuel is powered by Poll Sports. Get instant fantasy football advice through real-time polls by visiting pollsports.com.
Cards are dealt the other way now, and for the last time, no more shuffling.
All right, guys. Welcome to another episode of Fantasy Fuel Shuffling the Deck. I am Tom Tuttle. Today, we are doing a random player going to the AFC now in a different division. A random player from the Denver Broncos. Today's going to be a little different because normally I have something prepared for everybody that is in that random category that I choose to randomize. Today I have nothing prepared for any of them. So we're going to see just how well this is going to go. Let's find out who that random player is going to be. All right, well, it's going to be Joe Flacco. This shouldn't be too difficult. Joe Flacco. I'm going to pop up his stats as quickly as I can. All right. It looks like, Joe Flacco, let's be real for a second. He's not been the greatest quarterback of all time throughout his career, but he's been fairly decent. Nothing absolutely horrendous. It's just, let's take a kind of a look at what his quarterback record was. When he plays the game, let's see what his records have been. In 2008, 11-5. 2009, 9-7. 2010, 10-4. 2011, 12-4. 2011, 12-4. 2012, 10-6. 2013, 8-8. 2014, 10-6. 2015, 3-7. He didn't play that whole season. And then we had 2016, 8-8. We had 2017 of 9-7, and 2018 last year. The games that he played and they won 4 games and lost 5. That's kind of interesting if you think about it. He's only had 2 losing seasons out of all the years that he's been playing quarterback. That's really not that bad. He's been playing for 10 years, and he's only had 2 losing seasons. That's kind of some success. So if you want to think about fantasy football and Joe Flacco, that's a little bit different of a story. This year with the Denver Broncos, it's one, Emmanuel Sanders needs to get healthy, and he needs to play right away. Otherwise, Joe Flacco's value is not going to be good. If Emmanuel Sanders can't get on the field right away, it's going to be a little bit of a weird story, because all then you have at the wide receiver position that people know about is Courtland Sutton. Everything else gets really, really dicey after that. Of course, you're going to have Noah Fant. That's another reason that Noah Fant could have another really big year, especially if Emmanuel Sanders isn't going to be on the field, because I'm sure Flacco is going to trust in a guy like Noah Fant, who I think is the best tight end in the draft. I would have preferred him to go to a different team, just because I think he would have had a little bit better of an opportunity in other teams. But Flacco likes his tight end. We know this already. So if Noah Fant can do something there, that could help Joe Flacco out quite a bit. Another thing you have to think about is Drew Lock. Do you think Drew Lock will be pushing the door, turning the knob, trying to open up some kind of crack to get into that starting role? And if anything bad happens to Joe Flacco, if he's throwing interception, if he's just not accurate, if his passer rating kind of plummets, that's one thing I want to look at. Let's look at what his passer rating, his completion percentage for his entire career has been 61.7 completion percentage. That's not the worst. That's not great, but it's not the worst. Now, his quarterback rating, yikes. There's not been one single year that he has had a quarterback rating more than 93.6. That was his best year, and that was in 2010. So that was quite a while ago. His quarterback rating needs to go up. Yeah, that's interesting. Then let's take a look at Drew Lock a little bit. If I'm going to look him up real quick. Drew Lock, of course, in 2017, he had a great year. I mean, that was amazing back in the day when he was on Missouri. Now he's not on college anymore, so we'll see how that translates. But Drew Lock, okay, so yeah. Drew Lock in 2017, he was a junior. He had 242 attempts. And I'm reading that wrong. He had 419 attempts. His with 3,964 passing yards. He had a rating of 165. That can't be right. But he threw 44 touchdowns. So that's possible. 165 is really high, but 44 touchdowns is pretty awesome, especially in college. He did throw 13 interceptions in 2007. I knew 2017 was a good year for him. Last year in 2018, he threw 28 touchdowns. That's still pretty good. 8 interceptions. That is a good improvement. I like that. But, yeah, I mean, he definitely had a good couple years there in college. I think he only played, 13 games in college. So when you're getting up close to 4,000 yards, that looks pretty good. But you do have to think, how's this going to translate to the pros? And do you think that the Broncos are going to say, hey, Flacco, we're sorry, you're not performing the way we want you to perform. We're going to give Drew Lock a chance. And if that happens, Flacco's he's basically going to be done, wouldn't you think? Because that just happened to him last year with Jackson. Lamar Jackson came in, completely different type of quarterback, runs the ball a lot, and Flacco lost his job because Flacco just wasn't performing. Without Jackson, I don't think there's no question to me the Ravens don't win the division. They don't make the playoffs. Flacco was not good enough for the Ravens last year. Will he be good enough for the Broncos, and will he be good enough to have as a fantasy football quarterback to start? No, he won't be if you're playing in a regular league. If you're playing in a deep league or a 2-quarterback league, you can have him, but you better have Drew Lock as well, just in case, because you never know what might happen. All right, guys, well, I think I'm just going to go ahead and end it right there with Joe Flacco. I hope this wasn't too crazily terrible. Like I said, I didn't prepare anything for any of these random players. This was just completely on the spot. I thought I'd give it a try. I liked it. I hope you guys like it. Remember, if you are watching us on YouTube, please go ahead and subscribe. And if you're going to subscribe, you might as well click that notification bell as well. That way you get every single episode. You don't have to search for it. You get notified immediately. You can find us at fantasyfuelpodcast.com. You can find all of our rankings there, the mock drafts that we've done. We have everything there. So go there right now and check it out. Make sure you check out John Eddie Jr.'s show that he is doing. It is called Ride. It is basically a individual team defensive show. He's going to pick a player, and he's going to tell you all about that player. And if you're in an individual defensive leagues, that's what you got. You got to go there, check it out. And that's I'm telling you what, individual defensive player leagues, I'm in 1 or 2, and actually I'm in 3. 2 or 3. I don't remember. I have to go check. But I'm in a few. And to me, that's the way of the league to me. That's the way of fantasy football anymore, because I just really enjoy it. And I know that John Eddie Jr. enjoys it. That's why he's doing these IDP episodes. But just go check it out. And make sure you check out Fantasy Fuel as well, all of our episodes as well. We do them every single week. You can find us everywhere. You can find us Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast. Just remember, guys, you got to go to Poll Sports, pollsports.com. This is where you got to go. I mean, this website is just amazing. You can get all your questions answered when it comes to fantasy football. Is this a good trade? Is this a bad trade? Should I do this right now? Or when the season starts. What should I do? Should I start this guy? Should I sit this guy? Who do I start? Stuff like that. This website is going to be really awesome going forward. You got to go there right now. Check it out. Pollsports.com. Guys, thank you for listening to the most interesting fantasy fuel shuffling the deck I think I've had so far, because it was just completely on the spot. Thanks, guys. Remember to stay fueled up this fantasy season.